Good morning. Welcome to Vinyasa Yoga and Mantra with Noelle Whittington. That's me. We'll start our class in about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit less. We start at 10:30. When you enter the stream, say something in the chat so I know that you're here. Welcome you all as you start coming in. If you'd like, say hi in the chat box so I know you're here. Hello, hello. Say hi in the chat box, you guys. Welcome. Elizabeth, good morning. Hello. Hello, hello. I'm excited. Elizabeth, do you have any requests? We have a request for piriformis release, I believe. It is a beautiful rainy day. The frogs are singing. I don't know if you can hear them. They're really loud. I love it. Hamstrings and standing balances. Ooh, yeah, we can totally do that. We'll do our hamstrings and standing balances, and then we'll do some piriformis release closer to the end. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my power cord. Anybody else here yet? Say hi in the chat. Hello, hello. Yay. It's almost time to start, and I see some more of you joining. I can't see who has joined, but I see my little numbers going up. Tani! Wonderful. Tani is going to watch from the front porch to watch the rain. Oh, it sounds so nice. Sounds so good. Tani, I can't remember if you had any requests. I don't think that you did, but if you came up with some this morning, let me know. And Tani, meet Elizabeth. Who else is here? Say hi in the chat. We're waiting on Alice and Johanna and Andrea. And is it Andrea or Andrea? I want to get everybody's names right. Elizabeth and I just had that exchange. I feel like as we start to become more like ourselves and evolve, we like to be called different things. So let me know what you would like to be called. All right, well, it's 10:30, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start. And if anybody has any issues, feel free to just shoot me a text message. And you can also write something in the chat box. And once I go back onto my mat, I won't be able to read from back there, but I can walk up and I will see that you have said something. So write it in the chat. Welcome, everybody. It's a beautiful rainy day here in Wilmington, North Carolina. One of my friends from Oregon is joining us. I'm wondering what the weather is like there. I've never actually been to Oregon, but I really want to go. So this morning, I woke up feeling much different from yesterday. Let me know if you feel the same way. Yesterday was just really hard for me. I just felt really sort of stuck and kind of helpless and lost and almost, I don't know, just gross. Hi, Andrea is here. And is it Andrea or Andrea? Let me know. So I was just saying that today feels different than yesterday. And I'm loving noticing the balance of being in that icky and that yucky. And then once you get through that, it sort of feels like this gateway into more like yourself, which Deepak Chopra calls the yuck and the yum. And the yum is when we feel inspired, when we feel alive, when we feel juicy. And I think there's a lot of kind of ebb and flow right now. And we can even see that in the weather here in Wilmington. It's been super sunny and warm, and then it's been just rainy, and it seems like a good cleanse. So I'm just seeing that the duality within the one, the Maya is playing. So in yogic terms, Maya is it's known as illusion sometimes. And that's because from the Vedas all the way up until a more tantric perspective, Maya was said that it was illusion because anything that's not real is that which changes. So everything that is subject to change, meaning energy and its manifestations, is not real in the sense of the ultimate reality or Brahman. So I've been really interested lately in trying to really listen deeply. I feel like everything seems really important right now, and I want to be able, not necessarily to understand it all, but to comprehend it in a way that I can integrate it and move forward. And I know you probably are trying to figure that out as well. When we slow down, we have all this extra space to figure it out. So this morning, I randomly picked up one of my books that I haven't looked at in a while, and it's called I know this is backwards for you, but it's the Vivekachudamani, which it means the crest jewel of discrimination, or the crest jewel of discernment. Elizabeth says, yes, was on the verge of tears most of the day yesterday. Yeah, same. I felt like I wanted and needed to cry, but I just couldn't get it out. Like I was so, if I really went into the recesses of my mind and my shadow, I was so lazy that I couldn't even accomplish crying. I just felt so gross. So I know that I'm not gross. I know that we all are these divine beings, these beautiful, incredible, unlimited beings that are capable of literally anything that we want. And we can manifest anything that we want. And all we've got to do is just put one foot in front of the other, listening to the guidance from our soul, from our ultimate reality, from our highest self. So this crest, Shankara's crest jewel of discrimination or discernment, it talks about the practice of discernment and discrimination in a way that is very, it's a Vedantic philosophy, meaning it's the end of the Vedas. It's moving from nature being God to contemplating the nature of our individual soul, meaning the drop within the ocean of consciousness. So our soul is consciousness itself, but it has that discernment to live out our soul's purpose. We keep being brought to, or we keep choosing to come to Earth to live out our mission, if you like. And there's a lot of schools of thought on that. That's another whole topic. But we ultimately are that reality with a capital R. And in this case, that's called Brahman. And our soul, which is a drop within the ocean of consciousness, and consciousness itself can be referred to as Atman or Jiva. So I wrote a little something this morning in contemplation. So Shankara, in this discernment text, the crest jewel of discrimination, talks about the concept of Ishvara Pranidhana, but Shankara presents Ishvara as the ruler of Maya. So I thought about that for a second. I was like, wow. So Shankara is saying that God, which is what Ishvara means, the divine, is the ruler of Maya. So therefore, the yogic principle, the niyama of Ishvara Pranidhana, which means surrendering to the divine or surrendering to the flow, is surrendering to grace and to energy in all of its fluctuations. So we, whether we like it or not, are going with the flow right now. You know, we're experiencing all of the different fluctuations of energies, the ups and the downs. And I think we're all right there when we have our ups and we feel like, oh, we have all this time and we can feel all the inspiration, we can feel the guidance. And then times where, I may or may not have eaten a potato chip that I found in my blanket on my bed yesterday. Like times like that, like if we're really honest with ourselves, where it just sort of feels like hopeless and gross and ugh, because it's all part of our experience. And that is Shakti. That is how Ma plays, because she's giving us the experience of ecstasy and bliss and consciousness itself, but then she's also giving us the experience of being contracted and being empty, because that's the spot, that resistance spot is right before we expand again. So in the same way that one breath leads into another, the exhale feels like when you're swimming in the ocean, if you've been holding your breath for quite some time, there's a moment where you start to kind of feel like, oh no, I don't know when I'm going to get my next inhale. And it's that kind of like panic feeling where you feel like pressure. That helps us remember that if we can float and relax, we can rise up to the surface and we can take that inhale and then we can expand again. So it's got to be both. It's the exhale and the inhale. It's the yuck and it's the yum. And all of that helps us to learn more about ourselves and to fully be present. So in Vedanta and in this Crest Jewel of Discrimination text, and I'll write that in the chat, Maya can be seen as, and I'm quoting Shankara here, a ladder which can be climbed to consciousness of the reality. And again, that reality is with a capital R, that's Brahman. So that, it means it's real because it doesn't and cannot change because it has never had form. Okay, so there's the concept of Purusha, which is reality, which is Brahman, which is formless and unchanging. And then Prakriti, or energy in all of its manifestations, or Shakti, depending on what school of thought you're talking about, or Maya in this case. So beyond the energy, beyond the Maya, we are a fully integrated whole. And that's what these practices are designed to do, this full spectrum yoga practice. So I'd like to start with a meditation. It's going to be a contemplative meditation. So before we start that, I'm just going to write the name of the book in the chat while I'm sitting here. If anybody has any questions, you can put them in the chat box here. Oh, that should be a discrimination with a D. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's start with a meditation. So you can start on your back if you would like to. You can start in a seat if that feels more comfortable. And this meditation is going to be more of a soul journey. And we're going to ask our soul, we're going to ask our concept of Brahman some questions. From that pool of infinite consciousness itself, we're going to draw some information so that the animal of ourselves, the being that is experiencing the fluctuations of energy and the gunas and the tanmatras, the senses, how we can make sense of it all and how we can remain tapped in to that guidance that's always there for us. Okay, so we're going to talk about how or if we are blocking that flow of grace. Okay, so let's come into a comfortable seat or reclining position. And as you come into your seat or reclining position, take a few deep breaths. Take some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And maybe you elevate your chest slightly. Maybe there's a block underneath your chest or underneath your pelvis. Feel free to clear the throat. And then if it feels comfortable, let your eyes close or allow your gaze to soften. And allow your body to begin to feel a bit heavier. Every inhale, creating space. Every exhale, creating softness. relaxing into your form, starting to feel the weight of the body and the muscles gently relax into hanging off of the bones. Noticing that feeling of gravity, the downward flow of prana. So starting with your feet and your legs and your pelvis, allow that to feel very grounded. And the trunk of the body, including the belly and the low back. Allow that area to soften. Let your belly be full and soft with the flow of breath. Releasing all contraction of the vagina and the anus. Allow everything to soften. Notice how the flow of breath as it continues expands and contracts the rib cage as the lungs expand and contract. Allow the shoulders and the arms and the hands to soften with gravity, releasing even more. Allow the strong muscles of the shoulders and the neck to soften and release. Allow the jaw to relax. Maybe moving around through the bottom jaw, running your tongue over your teeth and swallowing. And feeling the skin over your beautiful face softening. Feel the eyes resting in the bottom or back of the eye sockets. Feel your scalp relaxing, your hair softening. We're fully grounded now. Grounded and connected to Mother Earth, the core of the mother. We go deep within her womb and we receive that nurturing, calming, cleansing gift of energy that she can provide. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma. And we lay back in your nurturing and loving arms. May we remember always that we are held and supported. Thank you for your awe-inspiring gift of beauty. Imagine drawing energy and inspiration from the core of the earth. And feel perhaps your star moving from the core of the earth back up into your body so that you feel warm and illuminated. And perhaps that star moves up through all 7 chakras from the root to the crown and passes out of the top of the head, moving out into the multi-dimensional universes, multiverse. Now we're in the presence of our soul. We ask for guidance. Visualize what your soul feels like. Perhaps visualize the highest version of yourself. Feel that strong and commanding presence. Take a few deep breaths, feeling into your eternal soul. What patterns have you taken on to mask the clarity of your real feelings? What patterns have you taken on to mask the clarity and intensity of your real feelings? Notice with love, what patterns have you taken on to mask the clarity of your real feelings? Take a few deep breaths as you receive this guidance, knowing that you might not receive a verbal answer. It might come as a sensation, a knowing, a vision, a sound. Know that it might not come until later. Now let's ask our soul, what are you resisting? What am I resisting? What are you resisting? Right behind that resistance lies truth and freedom, because constriction is the gateway to expansion. So what are we resisting? Through the gift of our voices and through sound vibration, we call upon our sacred community, this sacred circle that we've created here together today. I invite you to feel into this support of one another. Alice, Tawny, Joanna, Andrea, Elizabeth, Noelle, this community of the heart, these beautiful beings riding the waves of prana, the waves of the fluctuations of Shakti, experiencing the full flow of grace as presented through these bodies and these minds and this energy, the Maya. We recognize our guidance. We climb that ladder so that we might recognize consciousness itself through these experiences, through these balance. So here and now we come together in that destination of peace and union beyond the fluctuations of the body and the mind, to remind ourselves that we are power itself, we are consciousness itself, no matter what. So we'll begin with 3 rounds of Om, followed by 3 rounds of Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And in this chant vibration, we wrap each other up in the support of a group hug, and we remember how powerful, beautiful, and strong we are. Because in that strength is vulnerability, and our ability to notice what we're resisting, and to notice the coping mechanisms and the patterns that we've created to help us. So may we come together for 3 rounds of Om now. First for ourself, the second for our group, and the third for the entire cosmic multiverse, the multidimensional peace and love that we already were, that we always are, and that we always will be. Unconditional love. Let's take a deep breath in. If you haven't yet, bring your warm, loving, nurturing touch to your heart. Feel that warmth and that love that radiates from within you. The brilliance and perfection that you are, regardless of how you feel and from outer circumstance. You shine always. You shine just as brightly when you're resisting, when you feel stuck, when you feel blocked, as you do when you feel fully inspired and juicy. And that is one of my favorite Sanskrit phrases, Niralambaya Tejase. Your brilliance, your perfection shines as an offering, no matter what. And I bow to that offering, and I recognize that within myself. Namaste. Okay, let's get some movement going, shall we? So feel free to grab any props that you want to use. We have some requests for hamstring stretches, standing balances, and piriformis release. So let's go ahead and start in a seat. And I see that you wrote something. I'm just going to trot up here. Let's see. I hope that you all can see everything and that there's not much delay. Okay, so let's start in a seat with your right leg in front or on top, because we'll do both, okay? And if you'd like to sit on a blanket, you're welcome to do that. We'll start with some circular motion kriyas to start to get the energy flowing. and moving up, okay? So from that grounded sensation that we created where we were connecting to the core of Mother Earth, to the womb, we draw her energy and her wisdom up into our body and we can circulate it, okay? And it moves kind of in a spiral. That's the Kundalini Shakti, the coil of our own personal divine creativity and inspiration. So let's get that back. So first, just go ahead and start to roll through your neck. Feel free to move through your shoulders. And I invite you to start engaging and lifting up through the vagina and up through the pelvic floor. Maybe as you inhale, you squeeze her up and in. As you exhale, release her, but notice how the energy moves. Squeeze as you inhale, and exhale, soften. Notice if that pumps the prana, your life force energy, up through your body. And then just let your body start to respond in a free circular motion, moving maybe to the right for Anahata Kriya. So Anahata, the unstruck, the unhurt, meaning that, yes, we are this animal, this fluctuation of energy, but we're also perfection. No matter what happens to us, we can never be diminished. And that's a nod again to the reality or to Brahman that we were talking about. The space of the heart chakra, the Anahata, also symbolizes unconditional love for all. I think that's what we are. So you're just using this motion as you breathe, lightly engaging Mula Bandha now, but without that tightening and hardening. So the aspect of the bandhas, that word means lock or seal. I like to think about it as a seal, not necessarily a lock, because for me that has this like really hard connotation. And a lot of us hold tension and tightness in the vagina and the anus and the perineum and even the prostate. So let's let it flow, you guys. Just let it be warm. You can even put your hands on your pelvis, on your low back. You can move around through your legs. We'll take another few breaths, just moving in a circle. Notice how your body responds more and more as we go. And then take another 2 breaths to find your way up into a tall seat. And let's raise the arms up on your inhale. Feel a grounded sensation through the pelvis, but rise all the way up. Exhale the right hand down, reach your left arm up and over. And then side to side lateral flexion on your own. Stay grounded through the pelvis and engage the core lightly to help protect the spine. Notice maybe how you feel a contraction on one side and perhaps an expansion on the other. So notice that space of constriction so that the expansion can happen, and it's continuing to happen through our breath. The exhale follows the inhale and vice versa. Now let's rise up, reach all the way up as high as you can to the sky. Take an inhale, engage the core, and exhale, lightly twist to your right. You can have your right hand beside you, behind you. You can have your left hand on top of your thigh, or maybe you put it to the outside of the thigh to twist more deeply. Feel free to move through your neck while you're here in the twist. Be gentle. Your breath is your ultimate teacher, the revealer, the remover of darkness, the guru. So keep returning to the breath. We will forget about it. It's always there for us, no matter what. And then let's return to center. Reach the arms up, gratitude down to the heart, Anjali Mudra, in that offering of gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for my help. Thank you for this moment. Then let's move through the legs. You can take the feet to the floor, take the knees wide, and then just let them rock side to side. And we're going to take that seated cross-legged position on the other side. So let the left leg come in front or on top. And ground down through the pelvis. You might even use your hands to press the legs or the hips down to the floor. And then from that grounded sensation, start to let yourself move in that circle to the left. So you might start gently with your neck, and you might start moving a little bit more fully, maybe leading with the heart. So free movement, Anahata Kriya. Another one of the definitions of the word Anahata means unstruck, meaning the unstruck sound, the sound that created itself, like the sound of Om. It was consciousness itself desiring to create the contraction and the density of energy and fluctuation to bring itself into that contracted form that created the sound of Om. And the sound of the Om created the universe, the energy and all its fluctuations according to yogic philosophy. Feel free to use sound in your practice. I can't hear you, so feel free to moan and groan and grunt and flutter your lips and all of the beautiful practices of sound and toning that we have available. Let's take another couple of breaths, continuing to observe the body as we breathe and as we move. Noticing where we find restriction, maybe bringing our hand or our breath there. Sit really tall and raise your arms, lift, inhaling. As you exhale, twist gently to your left. You can use your left hand behind you to lengthen your spine. The right hand might press onto the thigh, or you might take it to the outside of the thigh. See if you can feel a light lift of the pelvic floor, not so much that there's a hardening, but so that you can feel pleasure moving up your body. We're going to reclaim that. Feel free to move through your neck. And just being real here, twists make me burp. So if you feel the urge to burp, just let it be free. My teachers say that you want to fully give in to yawns and sneezes and coughs and burps because it is spirit moving as she needs to. Return to center, reach up, inhale, and we'll do lateral flexion one last time, exhaling side to side, maybe inhaling through the center. Notice the grounded sensation of the pelvis on both sides. Maybe it feels different with this cross of the legs. Notice whether you feel called to exhale through your nose or through your mouth. Both of these have very different energetic qualities, which you might use to your liking. But the general idea is that if you breathe through the nose, you cultivate heat and focus and strength, hands up. And if you breathe through the mouth, you release energy and heat. Bring the hands down to the heart. Let's inhale, reach your arms out in a big cosmic hug. Exhaling, wrap your right arm on top. Give yourself a little squeeze and some love. And then inhale and reach out again. And as you exhale, wrap your left arm around on top in that cosmic hug. Give yourself a little love. And then let's go ahead and stand. I'm going to rise to stand. So I invite you throughout this practice to be gentle with your body. Feel free to use hands on your body at any time to provide some nurturing encouragement. Okay, so coming to stand, you can have your feet slightly apart if you would like to. Let's move into some circles through the torso. Feel free to use your hands on your thighs. Kriya, that word means repetitive, cleansing motion. Kriya also means our ability to go with the flow and to harness that natural flow of energy and inspiration. So these circles help us to notice where we might be creating resistance and how to move through it. But the only way we can do that is by acknowledging it. Go the other way. Now feel free to take your feet wide and to start to move through the pelvis. So there's no wrong way to move here. Your core is lightly engaged to protect your low back. Then let's gently come slowly down into a forward fold. Let your knees be soft. Relax through the torso. Let your neck drop. Feel free to sway side to side, or you might walk your hands with you. Be gentle with your body. We all need something a little different in practice. So you do you, whatever that is. Just make sure you're still connected to your breath so that it is always accessible for you. I find that when we hold the breath or when we tighten the body, we block the flow of energy, but we're also potentially going to injure ourselves. So that's our disconnection at its greatest. Hang out in your forward fold. You might hold on to your elbows or even the back of your neck. We'll take some deep breaths here. Relax your jaw. 2 more breaths. Soften the knees, draw the navel to the spine, let the head be the last thing to rise. Roll the shoulders up and back and down and reach out through the arms and inhale them up. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to the heart and then bring the hands down to the thighs. Okay, so we're sitting back in a little bit of a chair here and we'll do some extension and flexion. So as you exhale, draw the navel into the spine and cat back to flexion. And inhale to extension, draw your shoulders back, draw your hips back. So stick your booty out, draw the heart forward, and exhale and around. Just a few more times. Now find neutral pelvis. So instead of having the hips way back, draw in through the core. And then start to make a circle with your tailbone. It is 11:11 here in Eastern Standard Time, so let's make a wish. And moving through the tailbone can help us draw energy in and manifest everything that we could ever desire. And then slowly rise to stand. Take your time. Pause for a moment just in gratitude, standing up tall, the highest and greatest version of yourself. You always are that. So hum. We are that. Then we'll move through a flow that includes working with the hamstrings and standing balance postures. So because we're working with the hamstrings, if you want to, if you have a couple of blocks, you can use them. I'm just going to put them at the front of the mat for lunges, and you can also just use your fingertips if that feels better. Okay, so let's walk to the top of the mat. The feet can be slightly apart, or you can touch your big toes together. So moving in a sequence, lift your heart, raise your arms, maybe gaze to your thumbs, push into your toes, use your core to lift your ribs away from your pelvis. As you exhale, bend the knees and draw the navel in toward the spine as you fold forward, slowly exhaling hands to blocks, or you can relax them down to the floor. Feel free to straighten the legs at the bottom. Inhale, lift your heart. You can keep your hands on your blocks, or you can put your hands on your shins. And as you exhale, let's step the left foot back. Go back as far as you can so that when you bend into your right knee, it stays over the ankle. Now we have two ways to do this. You can inhale into your lunge and then exhale, straighten the front leg and lift the right toes up. Or you could be on your back knee, left knee comes down, and then right leg straightens half split. Maybe you do a combination of both. As you inhale, move into front knee flexion, exhale, front knee extension, either down on the floor, off the floor, or both. And then make it your own. Maybe you slow it down. Maybe you even start to lift that back foot off the mat for a quad stretch. We'll do 2 more breaths here. Please find your lunge. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee up. Move your blocks out of the way so your hands can flatten on your mat to step back downward facing dog, exhaling Adho Mukha Svanasana. From down dog, make sure your hands are on the same plane, index fingers parallel to one another, fingers spread wide. Then feel free to pedal through the feet, bending the knees, maybe dropping through the hips, maybe even making a little undulating pattern with your body, moving in and out and around. Just let yourself be as free as possible with a slight engagement of the core to protect the spine and the hips. And notice the difference, please, between engaging the muscles or locking them down and hardening and blocking the flow of energy. On your inhale, move forward to plank. As you exhale, let's bring the knees down. Toes tucked or feet flat, your choice. Send the hips back. Inhale, roll the hips to the right for Muladhara Kriya. Come through the center. And then exhale and bring them back. Now go to your left. Hip circles forward. And hip circles back. To the right. And to the left, last time. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog, and inhale, roll forward to plank. On the knees or on the toes, exhale, lower to your belly. So draw the elbows back by the sides, belly and chest touches at the same time. Press down to the tops of the feet and roll the shoulders back for a gentle Bhujangasana, gentle cobra. As you exhale, soften. Slide the hands back half of an inch and inhale, maybe draw the heart forward more, but you're still pushing down through your feet. And exhale and soften. Keep lengthening the tail toward the heels for your last back bend. And as you exhale, let's move up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg high. As you exhale, bend your knee and open up through your hip. Now you're welcome to come to table. You can bring your left knee down, or you can stay in down dog, circling through the hips. Or you can make a big figure 8 with your right knee coming to touch your right arm and left arm, and then up and back. And then maybe under the body the next time. Left arm, right arm, and up and back. Let's step the right foot all the way through between the hands. Look forward, inhale, enjoy your lunge, and then exhale and step forward. Flat back, lift up, torso parallel to the floor. Draw into the navel, scoop the tail slightly, and fold as you exhale. Relax your arms and sweep them behind you. Inhale forward and up, rise to stand. Take a back bend by pushing into your feet. Use your core, protect your low back. Exhale, hands to the heart. Arms by the sides. Inhale, let's rise, lift your heart. Back bend if you want. Exhale, fold forward, take your time. Soft knees, drop the head. Inhale, hands to the shins or to the floor, look up. Grab the blocks if you'd like. Exhale, step your right foot way back so that when you bend into the left knee, it's right over the ankle. And then inhale into your lunge. Exhale, straighten that front leg, maybe rock off the ball of the foot. Or you can come into Hanumanasana Kriya, back knee down, front leg straight with your exhale. So go for it with your breath. Maybe you do a combo of all of that. Maybe you even start to lift that back foot up to make a super quad stretch. This is too much on your knee, you can add a blanket or just choose not to do it. Okay, find your front knee bend. Move your blocks out of the way, step back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then either stay there and rest, or you can bend through the knees, you can rock it out, pedal through the feet, move through your hips. Anything goes. Make sure you stay connected to your breath. When you're ready, inhale, roll forward to plank. Exhale, bring the knees down. Keep the feet as you like as you send your hips back towards your heels. For Muladhara Kriya, roll the hips to the left, through center, to the right and to back, and then maybe to the right. You can go as low to the ground as you want to. For me, my hips don't want to go all the way down yet. And then let's rise to downward facing dog. When you're ready, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Either stay there, or if you want to vinyasa, move forward to plank on your inhale. Exhale on the knees or on the toes, lower through your push-up. Inhale through your back bend, cobra, or lift up off the thighs for upward facing dog. Take another breath, and exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up. And exhale, bend the knee and open up through the hip. So you could stay in down dog. You could bring your right knee down. You could come to table. Or maybe you make that figure 8. Left knee forward to touch your left arm. Right arm and up and back. And then maybe you come underneath this time. Left knee to your right arm, to your left arm and back. And then let's lift up high. Everybody raise your left leg high, lift up onto your right tippy toes, and step forward as you exhale, finding your lunge. Pause for an inhale. Exhale, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, flat back, hands to your shins or even to your thighs. Draw the navel in, scoop the tail under slightly to fold forward as you exhale. Then, enjoy your forward fold. So now's the time where our legs might be getting a little bit warmer. I invite you, if you like, to rub them. Lymphatic massage is about 4% pressure toward the heart. So it's just a nice, gentle stroke up toward the heart. Also, if you have any tightness, you might just give it a massage. Why not? While we're down there, let's do some big exhales through the mouth. Just open mouth or stick your tongue out or flutter your lips. And then soften the knees, draw the navel to the spine to protect the back, and let's rise to stand. Take the hips forward, raise the arms up, inhale. As you exhale, hands to your heart. Stay on your right foot. Fly the left leg back for warrior 3. Fly the arms back if you want to. Take a deep breath. You might gaze toward the floor. Make sure you're pressing down to the right big toe mound. Draw the navel in, pull the rib cage up. Touch the right shin with your left hand. Touch the right shin with your right hand. Let the left arm rise. Switch hands again. Left hand to the shin, right arm high. Right hand down, left arm high. Now airplane, arms out. Fly your arms back, exhale, step back to Vivekachudamani 1. So the hips go back, the back heel grounds at a slight angle, in line with the front heel. Raise your arms. Straighten the front leg. As you exhale, bend the front knee, fly your arms back. Circle up, inhale. Exhale, big circle with the arms. Bring the chest forward, cobra in the chest. Inhale, arms forward and up. Last big circle, exhale, back. Stay there, bring the chest forward. Now, inhale, arms forward. Option 1, the back heel stays down. Option 2, the back heel lifts. Option 3, come to the very tippy toe of your left foot and hold for 5. Breathe. 4. Front knee slightly bent. 3, draw up through the core. 2, and 1, step the feet together. Woo. Stand up, raise your arms, inhale. Exhale, fold, dive forward. Half lift, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, hands on the shins or on the floor. As you exhale, step back to downward facing dog, or from down dog, we'll take a flow. If you like, inhale, roll forward to plank. On the knees or on the toes, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. If you'd like up dog, you can draw the navel up underneath the ribs, pull the ribs up into the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And a big exhale. Then bend the knees and look forward and step or jump to your gaze. As you exhale, fold in. Half lift, inhale, look up. Exhale and fold. Sweep the arms back, forward and up. Fly into your back bend, stand tall. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Arms down, take a breath. Remember, you can rest or drink water anytime. When you're ready, you're gonna fly. So your left leg is your standing leg. Let your right leg fly behind you and reach your arms out. So your right leg is straight, draw the toes to your face. Pull up on the navel, drop the right hip, lift the left hip. Bring your right hand to your left shin, left arm high. Gaze on one point in front of you, drishti down, left hand down, right arm high. Try to keep the hips stable as you switch hands. Deep breaths, switch hands. Last time, switch hands. Arms fly out, inhale, arms back. Exhale, step back for your Vajrasana 1. So the feet go back. Back heel grounds down in line with the front heel and raise your arms up, inhale. Straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend your front knee, fly your arms back, cobra in the chest, chest forward. Inhale, up, circle back and around. Inhale up, circle back and around. Inhale forward and stop. Option 1, back heel stays down. Option 2, back heel lifts. Option 3, all of the weight goes into the left leg, left knee is bent. Just barely the right big toe is touching for 5. Pull up on the core, engage the pelvic floor. 3, 2, and 1. Stand up, feet together, rise. Inhale. Exhale, dive forward. Take a few breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, flat back inhale. And exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in down dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank. We're gonna hold the plank for 5 breaths. You're welcome to keep your knees down. If you can, draw the navel up toward the ribs, push the arms straight, neck is long. Notice how you're pushing into your feet. Isometrically draw the legs toward each other and feel that prana rise up through the inner thighs. Pelvic floor lifts. Energy elevator goes up, draw the navel toward the ribs. Pull the ribs in, straighten the arms. Take another inhale. As you exhale, lower to your belly. Press down through the feet, maybe walk the legs back. Let's sweep the arms behind and either hold the forearms with the right forearm on top, or if you can, take your scarf or your strap, or clasp your fingers with your right thumb on top. And then inhale as you lift the chest. And we'll take some deep breaths here. Keep anchoring through the legs. Turn your head to the right, touch the left side of your forehead down. Inhale to center, turn your right cheek down, and tap the right side of your face down. Inhale, lift your head, torso up. Exhale, turn your left cheek down, release a bit. And then last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, turn your right cheek, touch it down. And then release, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And let's rise up into a seat for meditation, or you can take a flow. Feel free to grab some water. That's what I'm going to do right now. One more breath. Okay, come onto your belly again, maybe through chaturanga. Walk the legs back and anchor them down. Push down through the tops of the feet, anchor the tail toward the heels, and then pull some of the energy into the pelvic floor and up, drawing the navel up under the ribs. So think Hula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. Reach back and hold the forearms with the left forearm on top, or reach back and clasp your strap or your scarf, left thumb on top if you'd like Yoga Mudra, raise your arms. Keep anchoring through the legs. And then give yourself a little bit of mobility and stretch to the neck by turning the head and seeing if you can tap the forehead or the ear down on each side. Or even just roll through the neck here and maybe move through the torso. Can you even draw your knuckles down toward the floor on one side and then the other? I can't do that, but my shoulders go down. And then let's release. Press yourself up to table. And either grab a blanket, or if you do not have a blanket, you'll take the left side of your mat and fold it up. So essentially what you're doing is you're folding the left side of your mat over so that you have a double thick left side of the mat, okay? You may not need knee padding, and if you don't, cool, you don't really need that. So let's bring our knees onto the blanket or onto the fold. Grab your blocks if you want to use them. And let's step the right foot forward and then come into your front knee bend. We're working on the quad stretch here, so go ahead and lift your back foot up. Notice how if you send the hips back, it feels a little bit different than if you send the hips forward. You might be able to bring your right forearm onto your right thigh, and the left arm can go in the air. Or perhaps the left hand stays on the block, and maybe the right arm goes up. If you want to reach back and touch the foot, you can do it with either the right hand or the left hand. I like the left hand. So we're focusing on the quadriceps, so the front of your left thigh and your hip flexor. This is really important if we're going to be getting into hamstring stretches like splits, which we're about to do. Let's take 2 more full breaths here. And 1 more breath. Release the back leg. Come into half split. So walk your front leg straight. Now, if your left knee is like, this is not working for me, then you just come up to a short pyramid stance. So you could lift your left knee off the ground and you could come into a standing position, and that could be enough. Okay, so maybe you're in that Parsvottanasana situation there in your pyramid, or maybe you come into half split using your blocks or fingertips on the floor to straighten your front leg. Maybe you start to walk your right leg forward. For those of you that are into splits, see if you can do plank split first. So plank split is where you have your hands on blocks or on the floor just underneath the shoulders. Then you tuck your left toes under and you can lift your left knee off the ground. Now, if you've got that, then try using the strength of your arms to lower yourself down carefully, or you might lower yourself onto a block. I'm just going to continue using the strength of my arms and core so that I can hover. We'll take 3 more full breaths. Feel free to bend that front knee as much as you need to. One more breath. And come out of it. Slowly slide that right foot back. Come into your lunge. Lift your back knee up. We're coming into standing split. So step onto your right leg. Raise your left leg. One of my favorite all-time hamstring stretches here. Feel free to hold onto your ankle with your right hand, wrapping your right forearm around, or play with the balance by looking just in front of your right foot and holding onto your ankle with both hands. Deep breaths here. You're drawing information intelligence, energy, power in through the bottoms of both feet into the core. Take the tension out of your neck and shoulders here. Use your core instead. And then when you're ready, just going to lift that left leg up a little bit, lift up into warrior three, and then come on up to stand. Shake it out. Raise your arms, lift your heart, inhale. Exhale, fold forward, pull up on the navel, soften the knees, let the head drop. Inhaling, bend the knees and step the right foot back. And you can bring that right knee down. And if you want, you can have it on a blanket, or if you don't have the blanket, take the right side of your mat and fold it up lengthwise. Okay. Notice how if you back off a little bit, if you send your hips back some, it can feel a bit different. So let your body work into it slowly and over time. We want to be taken care of. We want to be treated gently. Okay, so do that for yourself. Let your breath slow down. And then when you can, lift your back foot. Notice the connection of the front of your right thigh and the inner groin on the left side. Notice the connection of those 2 points and see if you can start to anchor the tail down and very lightly drop on the pelvic floor and see if the low belly can pull in. Then let your heart lift a bit. If you want, you can put your left forearm on your thigh. Maybe the right arm rises. If you want, you can reach back with your right hand. Again, remember that pelvic floor, low belly engagement. Two more full breaths. One more breath. Carefully release. Keep the work in the core happening so it's not a slingshot. And then let's straighten the front leg, either by coming into Ardha Hanumanasana half split. You can straighten that front leg and lift the foot, and then maybe take the foot forward more. Or you can lift the back knee, shorten your stance a lot, and then fold over your straight front leg. And you might need something different on one side than you do on the other, so please just notice. Allow yourself to be guided. Often we are just pre-programmed with our habits and what we think we should do, but we take time now to slow down and notice what truly is. The yuck and the yum. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to come into a full split. So option one, you come into your half split, straighten that left leg, you can bring the left foot forward more. Or if you want to, you can bring your hands to blocks or to the floor underneath your shoulders, tuck your right toes under and lift your right knee coming into the plank split. Feel free to slide your left leg forward as far as you want to, and feel free to stay hovering on your hands and arms. Feel free to put a block underneath your left hip if you'd like. Feel free to bend the left knee as much as you need to. Two more full breaths. And one more full breath. Carefully come out of it. We're moving into standing split. So slide your left foot back, put the weight on your left foot, tuck your right toes under, stand up and take the right leg in the air. If you want to play with your balance, try holding onto the ankle with your left hand or gazing just in front of the foot, hold onto the ankle with both hands. Receive energy and information through the bottoms of both feet in different directions to the center of the body. Notice if one leg is working harder than the other, can you equalize them? Then bend down with the right leg, bend the left knee, use your core to stand up. And just go ahead and come all the way up to standing. Let's move the props off to the side. And shake it out a little bit. Feel free to grab some water. I'm going to come into a piriformis release now. So that will be a pigeon pose with a little bit of a twist. Feel free to do, excuse me, figure 4 instead. From the top of the mat, let's rise, inhale. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step to plank or float to chaturanga or skip it, go to down dog and stay. Inhale, move forward in your plank. Exhale through your push-up. Inhale through your back bend. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, let your right leg rise. Lift up high onto your left tip toes and exhale the right knee toward the right wrist. Then send the left leg back. Okay. Now for piriformis release, I invite you to try your best to bring that front foot forward more. Often, the right foot would come in toward the groin and the right knee would point forward. So see how much you can actually take the right shin parallel to the front short top of the mat. For me, this means that I've got to put a blanket underneath my pelvis. So underneath the right hip. Okay, so that might feel good. That actually feels so much better for me. So your goal is to try and get into the belly of the gluteus maximus, into the piriformis that runs parallel. Like if you had a seam on your pants, it's kind of like that, but it cuts just along the middle of your perfect cheek. Okay, so try and get in there. Do some subtle movements. Maybe there's some pelvic tilts. You're also really powerfully dorsiflexing the right toes so that you can push into the pinky toe edge of that right foot. If you want to ease off of the left knee, just put a little bit of pressure down the bottom of the top of the left foot rather. Now let's walk most of our weight over to the right. Keep pushing into your right foot. Go easy. Take deep breaths. You might move down a little bit. You might move up. You might do little small movements. One more breath. Okay. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders, really super strong. Tuck your left toes under. Bring your left knee closer. Retuck. Wiggle a little forward. Step back to down dog, and feel free to move around in a circle through your right leg, getting some hip stretches. Feel free to step over to wild thing if you want to. And slowly coming back into downward facing dog, take a full breath. Let's raise the left leg high, inhale. Exhale, bring the left knee outside the left wrist and the left foot as far forward as you can. Feel free to take your blanket underneath your left hip. And as best you can, push down into the pinky toe edge of your left foot. This side will feel different, so wiggle around until you can find that sweet spot where you are getting into the belly, the deepest part of your glutes on the left side, and then also into the piriformis, and walk your weight over your left hip. Feel free to distribute the weight by pushing down into your right foot. If you're looking for release, focus on your exhales. And you can discern whether through the nose or through the mouth is appropriate for you at this time. Okay, guys, when you're ready, slowly start to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Use your right foot to bring the right knee a little closer and step back to down dog, and feel free to circle around through your left leg. Feel free to step over to wild thing if you'd like to. And then let's step or jump through to a seat so that we can close our practice. Okay, go ahead and come down onto your back right away. Let's take the feet together and the knees apart. I invite you to take your hands like a triangle and bring it down to the pelvis. Let the tips of the fingers touch the pubis and thesis. Let the thumbs come together up toward the navel. And let the palms of the hands come close to the front protrusions of the ilium, the hip bones. Notice the warmth of your hands here. You might feel called to move your hands apart so that the warmth of your hands is resting on your hip flexors, on your groin. Feel free to move the hands anywhere that they are needed. Adopting less is more. You might find that you're ready for Savasana. I'm being called to stay right here. If you need any last minute stretches, like a happy baby or a gentle back bend or a twist, please feel free to take it. You might prop your legs up the wall. And we'll take a Shavasana, followed by a mantra meditation. You could participate in the mantra meditation on your back or in any shape that suits you, but I'll offer the transition into a seat when later if you'd like. So let's take some time to get comfortable. And as you rest in Shavasana, I'd like to read from the Vivekachudamani. Again, the Crest jewel of discernment from Shankara. I'll read about the nature of reality or Brahman. In Shavasana, we meet Brahman. Union with Brahman. When the mind achieves perfect union with Brahman, the wise one realizes Brahman entirely within their own heart. Brahman is beyond speech or thought. It is the pure, eternal consciousness. It is absolute bliss. It is incomparable and immeasurable. It is ever free, beyond all action, boundless as the sky, indivisible, and absolute. When the mind achieves perfect union with Brahman, the wise man realizes Brahman entirely within their own heart. Brahman is beyond cause and effect. It is the reality beyond all thought. It is eternally the same, peerless, outside the range of any mental conception, It is revealed by the sacred scriptures, and it is forever revealing itself in us through our sense of ego. When the mind achieves perfect union with Brahman, the wise one realizes Brahman entirely within their own heart. If you'd like to participate in the mantra, you're welcome to stay on your mat. If you'd like, you can slowly find your way into a comfortable seat. This mantra will work even if you don't chant. We receive the vibrations of the remover of darkness within ourselves, the Guru, and we take shelter in that home of the heart. We bow to the exquisite beauty of the teacher within. Shri Guru Sharana Namo Namo Nama. Shri Guru Sharana Namo Namo Nama. Try that. Right, please feel free to bask in that exquisite, blissful experience of consciousness itself, or to continue to clear the way for inspiration and for guidance. Let's bring the index and middle finger of your right hand to the brow center, bridge of the nose, third eye, Ajna Chakra, honoring your flow of wisdom from its divine source, through us, to us, for us. Take an inhale. Close the right nostril with the thumb as you exhale through the left. Let the tongue lightly rest against the roof of the mouth, encouraging energy upward. Inhale up through the left. Close the left and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close and exhale through the left. Inhale left. Close and exhale right. Inhale, pull up through the right. Bring it into the center, hold, swallow. Exhale through the left. Inhale to the left. Bring it into the center, tuck the chin and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release through the right. And then bring the hands together at the forehead. May we continue to listen. May we continue to connect to the breath. May we continue to realize the guidance that is always present within us. Let's close with one arm. Let's take a deep, full breath in. Vow to that remover of darkness within you that is the same within me. Shri Guru Shamanam, may we take shelter in that exquisite wisdom. Namaste. Namaste, you all. Thank you for joining me. Come up to the screen so I can see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Love you all. You all got the email this morning, so if you have any questions, feel free to email them, and I'll get back to you. Also, if any of you would be interested in tonight, I have to ask my group first, but for one of the yoga teacher trainings that I'm leading, I'm doing a little Ayurveda workshop. They got the basics of Ayurveda the other day, but now they want more. So if you're interested in that, I will send you the information later. It's going to be tonight from 7:30 to 9 over Zoom. So if any of you are interested, just drop me a note. Thank you all for coming. Thank you so much for registering before. It makes me feel so good when I know that we're going to have a community. Elizabeth, holy yummy hamstrings indeed. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for your requests. Thank you for donating or for just donating your lovely presence. Either way, it's always available to you. So I really, really appreciate you. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. A bow to you. Namaste. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.